The Abomination. Emil Blonsky is a fictional supervillain appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 90, April 1967, and was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Gil Kane to be the rival of the Hulk. Debuting in the Silver Age of comic books, The Abomination has been featured in other Marvel-endorsed products such as arcade and video games, animated television series, merchandise such as action figures and trading cards, and the 2008 film The Incredible Hulk, where he was portrayed by Tim Roth. In 2009, The Abomination was ranked as IGN's 54th greatest comic book villain of all time. Publication history. Stan Lee chose the name of The Abomination, which he realized belonged to no other character, before conceiving the character's background and appearance. Lee recalled that he simply told the artist Gil Kane to make him bigger and stronger than the Hulk and we'll have a lot of fun with him. Quote, Emil Blonsky first appeared in the title Tales to Astonish, and was introduced as a KGB agent and spy who became the Abomination after deliberately exposing himself to a greater quantity of the same gamma radiation that transformed Bruce Banner into his alter ego the Hulk, using a machine Banner was planning on using to commit suicide. In his first appearance, Blonsky became a large-scale humanoid, even stronger than the Hulk. In accordance with Lee's wishes, the character defeated the Hulk in their first battle. The character has been featured in a number of Marvel titles, gradually shifting from unthinking savage brute, to master schemer, to tortured soul, and finally repentant villain and occasional defender of the weak before being killed in battle. Fictional character biography. Emil Blonsky was born in Zagreb, then part of Yugoslavia, and became a KGB agent who was sent to an Air Force base in New Mexico to photograph equipment. When he bombarded himself with a much higher dose of gamma radiation and transforms for the first time when Bruce Banner walks in and is nearly killed. The Hulk is revived by General Thunderbolt Ross using radioactive rays. The Hulk eventually reverts to Banner, who lures the Abomination into a trap and drains off the Abomination's excess power, allowing the Hulk to defeat him. The entire encounter is observed by the cosmic entity the Stranger, who encountered the Hulk in the previous storyline when he planned to control his mind and use him to wipe out most of humanity so the survivors could build a better civilization, but was dissuaded from destroying the Earth by Banner's noble actions. He takes the Abomination, judged to be evil, off-world for further study. The Abomination reappears when summoned by a coven of witches to briefly battle the cosmic hero the Silver Surfer, and summons Thor, via an absent Stranger's technology, to aid him in escaping the Stranger's laboratory world. Thor frees the Abomination and the other captives, but, on discovering they are all evil, uses his mystic hammer Mjolnir to time travel several hours into the past to undo his mistake. After defeating the Abomination and placing the Abomination in prison, Thor departs. When the Hulk is defeated by the alien Zeron the Star Slayer, who is in New York City hunting a giant creature called Klaatu, and brought aboard a space vessel, the Abomination is revealed to be first mate of the alien crew. When the captain of the vessel directs Zeron and the crew to battle Klaatu in space, the Hulk and the Abomination are thrown from the vessel and battle until the pair are drawn into Earth's orbit and separated. It is revealed in flashback that the Abomination entered into a coma on impacting with the Earth, and is buried for 2 years. Revived by an off-course missile fired from Hulkbuster base, under Ross jurisdiction, the Abomination joins forces with General Ross to defeat the Hulk, but is battered into submission by an angered Hulk. The Abomination reappears with fellow Hulk foe the Rhino, and the pair activates a gamma bomb at the Hulkbuster base in an attempt to destroy the Hulk. The Hulk's companion of the time, Jim Wilson, deactivates the bomb, and the Hulk tricks the villains during combat, forcing them to collide and knock each other unconscious. A comatose Abomination is eventually found by soldiers at Ross' direction and has a miniature bomb implanted in his skull. Being told to fight and defeat the Hulk or be killed, the Abomination tricks the Hulk into an alliance and betrays Ross by attempting to ransom the captured Kennedy Space Center. The plan fails when the Hulk turns on the Abomination and the pair fight, with the Abomination being caught on a rocket when it explodes. An illusion of the Abomination also appears with other Hulk foes when the Hulk, at the time possessing the intelligence of Banner, enters the brain of Colonel Glenn Talbot at microscopic size to excise a tumor. The Abomination eventually reappears as a servant of the entity the Galaxy Master, having been empowered with even greater strength. After another extended battle with the Hulk attacks and destroys the Galaxy Master, causing the villain to weaken and apparently become lost in space. When Hulk foe Modok invades the Hulkbuster base, he colludes with General Ross to revive the Abomination, who was found in a block of ice above Earth and kept in cryogenic storage for further study. Modok intends to use the Abomination against his superiors at Advanced Idea Mechanics, AIM, while Ross hopes the villain will destroy the Hulk. The Abomination, however, has become afraid of the Hulk and has to be mentally forced by Modok to fight. Modok, however, is ousted by AIM, and a hesitant Abomination is beaten by the Hulk when he intervenes to save Banner's laboratory assistant. The Abomination refuses to rejoin the fight, and is disintegrated by Modok. The Abomination is restored by the demonic entity Mephisto, who directs the Abomination and other villains against the cosmic entity the Beyonder. The restoration is temporary as a still disembodied Abomination's particles mingle with the mind of the villain Tyrannus, who reintegrates the Abomination under his control. Tyrannus as the Abomination then comes into conflict with the Grey Hulk, and quickly defeats the weaker version of the Hulk. When the Hulk reverts to Banner, Tyrannus forces him to create a procedure that will separate Blonsky, who is mentally fighting Tyrannus for control of the Abomination. The process is successful and Blonsky is restored to a human form, free of Tyrannus, still occupying the form of the Abomination. An enraged Grey Hulk defeats Tyrannus, who is placed into custody by the organization SHIELD. After encounters against Avengers Wonder Man and Hawkeye, the Tyrannus-controlled Abomination reappears during the Atlantis Attacks storyline with Deviant Gore freeing Tyrannus from the body of the Abomination and placing Blonsky's mind within the creature once more. The process drives Blonsky insane, and he battles heroes Spider-Man and She-Hulk, managing to knock both unconscious. The Abomination is eventually driven off when placed on fire by She-Hulk. The Abomination's mental faculties eventually return and the Abomination reappears in the Countdown storyline as a pawn of another Hulk foe, the Leader. The Abomination is sent to a toxic waste site to collect samples, and encounters the Grey version of the Hulk, who is outmatched and also weak due to being poisoned. The Hulk, however, throws the Abomination into toxic waste that partially dissolves the Abomination. The Abomination temporarily teams with villains Titania and Gargantua and finds and stalks his former wife, Nadia, a famous ballet dancer. The Abomination captures her and after taking her into the New York City sewers, reveals his true identity. After a brief skirmish, the Hulk persuades the Abomination to free his wife. The Abomination is also captured by the robot Sentinels but eventually freed by the mutant X-Men. After befriending a woman who finds her way into the sewers, the Abomination battles Namor during an attempt to save his kidnapped former wife. The Abomination retaliates against the NYPD when the police commissioner orders the sewers be cleared of all homeless. After killing several police officers, he is eventually driven away when confronted by the Hulk. The Abomination battles the mutant Nate Gray, who is searching the sewers for a colleague, who uses his mental abilities to trick the Abomination in thinking that he defeated Gray. He battles a delusional Hulk before encountering the Angel when the mutant visits the sewers in which he was once captured and maimed during the Fall of the Mutants storyline. When Betty Ross dies in the title Hulk, Banner mistakenly thinks her proximity to the Hulk has induced a fatal case of radiation poisoning. Using a gamma device, a vindictive General Ross tracks what he believes to be the Hulk to a destroyed town, where the Abomination reveals he was the true culprit. Despite baiting a newly arrived Hulk, the Abomination is unable to force the Hulk to fight and departs. The circumstances of Betty's death are eventually revealed. Blonsky's transformation into the Abomination apparently alienates his former wife Nadia, driving his hatred of Banner. Blonsky, deciding to deprive Banner of Betty in return, secretly poisons her with his radioactive blood. After hearing the Abomination's admission, Banner eventually discovers the truth and the Hulk defeats the Abomination in combat. Taken into custody by the military, Blonsky is forced to watch old home movies of him and his wife together, prior to his transformation. As punishment, operatives from a secret organization, Home Base, eventually release the Abomination to battle the Hulk. And although able to taunt the Hulk about Betty's murder, he is defeated once again. This encounter is revealed to be a dream generated by longtime Doctor Strange foe Nightmare in an effort to torture the Hulk. After a humorous encounter with the demigod Hercules, in which the Abomination is chosen as an adversary for the hero while he completes the modern version of the 12 Labors of Hercules, the Abomination is pardoned and employed by the U.S. government as a hitman against hostile foreign powers. The Abomination is also a conflicted opponent for the heroine She-Hulk, currently employed by spy organization S.H.I.E.L.D. The Abomination has a subtle but significant role in the World War Hulk storyline, being the source of gamma-irradiated DNA that allows the creation of an anti-Hulk response team. The Abomination reappears after the events of World War Hulk, encountering a new foe called the Red Hulk. This new opponent savagely beats, shoots, and kills the Abomination. The Abomination reappears in the court of the death god Pluto, attacking the Olympian god when he loses a power over the dead. Later on, it is revealed that the Abomination's killer, the Red Hulk, is actually General Ross's gamma-powered alter ego. He killed Blonsky as an act of revenge for his deliberate gamma poisoning, and later death, of Ross's daughter Betty. During the Dark Reign storyline, Abomination is among the dead characters present at Zeus's trial. During the Chaos War storyline, Abomination is among the dead characters in the underworld that Pluto liberated in order to help defend the underworld from Amatsu Mikaboshi. Abomination fights the Hulk and his allies until Marlo Chandler taps into the death essence within her to destroy his undead body. A shadow organization, later revealed to be the Ancient Order of the Shield, bent on gaining control of the Hulk, harvests biological material from a mortally wounded Bruce Banner. After Banner regains consciousness following the experiment and escapes as the Hulk, the organization uses this material to resurrect the Abomination under their control, leaving him free of a mind or a conscience, and with an ability to seek out Banner Hulk for retrieval. Hulk defeats the Abomination yet again with the aid of the Avengers. Iron Man uses technology taken from Order of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to teleport the Abomination into interplanetary space, estimated to be somewhere in the vicinity of Jupiter. Powers and abilities. The Abomination is similar to the Hulk in terms of strength, stamina, speed and durability, and the ability to regenerate. In contrast with the Hulk, he retains his intellect after transforming, and cannot change back into human form. He also possesses gills, enabling underwater breathing, and he can enter a state of suspended animation when bereft of oxygen for long periods. Originally, the Abomination is twice as strong as the Hulk. But unlike the Hulk, his strength does not decrease in proportion to level of anger, with the result that the Hulk is able to gain an advantage over Blonsky if the fight takes a sufficient amount of time for his anger to increase. After being further empowered by Amatsu Mikaboshi, the Abomination is considerably larger than before, can project hellfire and is strong enough to rip off the shell of his successor A-Bomb, something which the Red Hulk had previously been unable to do. Related characters. There were some characters that are related to Abomination in appearance. Abominatrix. Abominatrix is a female counterpart of Abomination. Florence Sharples was the manager at Jasper Keaton's Savings and Loans Company. She became Abominatrix due to a failed medical experiment done by Jasper Keaton's medical facility, and fought She-Hulk. Teen Abomination. Teen Abomination is a 13-year-old who got exposed to gamma radiation and became a teenage version of Abomination. Other versions. JLA Avengers. Abomination is among the villains enthralled by Krona to defend his stronghold. He is defeated by Superman. Ultimate Marvel. The ultimate version of the Abomination appears in the Ultimate Marvel imprint titled The Ultimates 2, as a part of an international group called the Liberators. This version of the Abomination is a Chinese scientist named Chang Lam. Dr. Lam was working to create a more efficient version of the Hulk. When he believed his research was complete, he used it on himself. When he transformed into a dinosaur-like giant, he retained control of his permanently enhanced form because of his lack of mental disorders. He was, at the time of its inception, serving with the Liberators. He was last seen in the Liberators' fight with the Ultimates, battling with Hulk. He believed that his intact intellect would allow him to easily beat the Hulk, but ended up being ultimately killed in duel. The Ultimate Emil Blonsky makes his debut in Ultimate Comics Ultimates number 27 and is part of Nick Fury's Howling Commandos team under the code name The Abomination, as a result of scars across his face. Abominations. The character also stars in the limited series Abominations, which continues plot points from the Future Imperfect storyline. A group of time-traveling assassins from the time of the villain the Maestro, sent by an alternate version of the Abomination called Emil, arrive in the present, intent on killing Betty 6, a futuristic version of Betty Ross who is pregnant with the Maestro's child. The Abomination provides shelter for Betty 6 and prevents the assassination. Mutant X. In the Mutant X universe, the Abomination appears as a part of a group that opposed the Beyonder and died after Marvel Zombies. A zombified Abomination appears in Marvel Zombies Dead days after the zombified Hulk infects him by biting him on the arm. Thor apparently killed him when he destroys his head with Mjolnir, his mighty hammer. In other media, television, Abomination appears in the Incredible Hulk animated series. He, alongside Gargoyle and Ogress, serves the leader as one of his Gamma Warriors. Abomination is featured in the Superhero Squad show voiced by Stephen Blum. He is a member of Doctor Doom's Lethal Legion and along with MODOK acts as the group's comic relief. Abomination appears in The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, voiced by Robin Atkin Downes. He is seen as an inmate of the Cube. In The Breakout, Pt. 1, Abomination was among the prisoners to escape during the Cube's sudden power failure. He briefly engages Hulk, who retreats with Doc Samson, enabling him, Leader, and Absorbing Man to gain control of the Cube. In the two-part episode, Gamma World, Abomination assisted Leader in a plot to turn everyone in the world into Gamma monsters. Hulk engaged Abomination and threw him into the desert. At the end of the episode, Abomination was crawling through the desert when he is approached by the Masters of Evil. Abomination appears in the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Maximum Overload miniseries, voiced by Robin Atkin Downes. Abomination appears in the Hulk and the Agents of S.M.A.S.H. episodes Abomination, Monsters No More, Homecoming, Spidey, I Blew Up the Dinosaur, and Spirit of Vengeance, voiced by Robin Atkin Downes. Abomination appears in the Ultimate Spider-Man episode Contest of Champions, Pt. 1, voiced again by Robin Atkin Downes. He alongside Beetle and Executioner were used by Grandmaster to obtain Spider-Man for his contest against Collector. Abomination appears in the Avengers Assemble episode, Seeing Double. He was shown to be on a rampage until he is subdued by Hulk and Black Widow. Film. Emil Blonsky appears in the 2008 film The Incredible Hulk, played by Tim Roth, who also supplied the motion capture and voice for Abomination, which is digitally enhanced. In the movie's storyline, Blonsky was a Russian-born British soldier who wanted to relive his glory days and volunteered to be injected with a sample of the super soldier serum, which was frozen for decades. However, it only made Blonsky crave more power as he forces drive Samuel Stearns to subject him to Banner's blood despite being warned of unstable side effects. As Abomination, he runs amok in New York's Harlem district before being defeated by Hulk. During an interview with Crave Online in December 2014, Roth revealed that he was offered to reprise his role in Avengers: Age of Ultron, but plans fell through during pre-production. Abomination appears in Heroes United, Iron Man and Hulk video games. Abomination appears as a playable character and a boss in LEGO Marvel Superheroes toys. Abomination is featured in the first series of the Hulk Classics line of action figures from Toy Biz. Abomination is featured in Marvel Legends Series 13. An action figure based on the character in the 2008 film was released in May 2008. Abomination appears in the standalone Marvel Comics expansion of Heroescape. In 2010, the Abomination was the 61st figure released in the Marvel Select line of action figures. References. External links. Abomination at the Marvel Universe Wiki. Abomination on Marvel Database. A Marvel Comics Wiki. Abomination at the Comic Book DB.